should we move on to that study, Steve, that looks into how women went, was it trail runners or elite runners in general, and how they went post-pregnancy?
It's a trail runner website, but I think it was just elite runners. So they had like, what was it, 42 elite runners. So you can call this study shit or hit based on that. I haven't read into it too much. I'm going to call it a shit just because the name is too long of the people who studied it. Medicine and Science in Sport and Exercise Journal. Get a new name. But basically, Radka, because you were coming on, similar to Reedy, I met you in Taiwan, Challenge Taiwan, where I had a parasite that time, and I was highly stressed before races, like Reedy. Maybe because he was my coach then and taught me how to be stressed before a race. But yeah, you were really relaxed, and I was being really careful about what I ate, and still ended up getting a parasite and couldn't race. But I was just amazed at those few years when you're always in awe of people on the podium, and you were winning every single race that I'd been to or just saw happening. And I just didn't understand how you were so relaxed. You had a kid, you were traveling with the kid. You'd only just had your baby as well, I reckon, at that point. It was 2018 or something when I met you.
Yeah.
And
well, Ruby was born 2018 in January. I don't know if we met in like end of 2018, possibly.
It would have been right at the end.
Yeah, I remember that race. My main stress was when I saw Brad during the race when I was running already. He had our little tiny Ruby on the back of the bike, on the carriage. And I'm just like, where is her head? Does she have a sunblock? And he's like, just run. I'm like, protect her, where's her head? This is like my main stresses during the race when she was so little. And like, yeah, I remember like races where I'm like, where's the pram? How come you cheering me on without the pram? Where's the pram? It's like, keep me in the shape, it's fine.
But basically, you went on to win just about everything, and I couldn't believe it. I thought, she's just had this baby, and it's unbelievable the mum strength you had. I didn't really understand it at the time because I didn't have a baby myself or anything. I couldn't understand how much it would put you out, but I know now. And it would be so tough to get back to racing, and you came back and won everything. So there's a study here that says 46%, the title is, was it groundbreaking new study on pregnancy and athletic performance, and it says 46% didn't just get back to their the standard they were at within a year or two of having a baby, but they improved within a year or two. So before 2-year mark, 46%, almost half, were better than they were before the baby, which is like unbelievable.
50, it's not much. 50. No, but I would say there is something to it. Like, I think the nature prepares the mom to survive impossible things. That's why, like, moms are okay to wake up 10 times at night to breastfeed, and then there's some special hormone which puts you straight back to sleep. If the husband gets up and would feed the baby, they can't fall back asleep. So the moms, they feed the baby, go back into the deep sleep, and they wake up actually fresh and fine.
Oh, amen, Rads. I've been trying to tell my wife this for a long time.
Oh my God, I'm telling Lauren this. Not that I helped at all.
But it's exactly right. I don't know how else would you survive that? Like, it's literally 90-minute increments of sleep, and yet amazingly, women seem to be able to function and not turn into monsters like I do with 90-minute increments.
You're still a monster, but you survive and you're able to take care of your baby.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but I would say, and I've heard from other athletes, that the first 2 years you really feel great after having the baby, and then after the 2 years, it's like back to your kind of pre-baby normal. And I felt the same thing. So I had Ruby 2018, 2019, amazing, like 2 seasons. And then I felt back like I'm lacking something. There's not like that power or something. So and it's not I didn't decide to have another baby just to have like big power, but I know like back many years ago, I raced in Spain, and there was this mom who finished a race and like went straight to breastfeeding. And I thought, oh my God. And she's like, well, I have every 2 years a baby because I know that I'll get back into like this amazing shape. And I was like, that's bad to say it like that, to have a baby just because you want to be great in. But it must be something there.
So it's interesting when you look at the physiology of what happens in that. I think when you become heavily pregnant, your blood volume increases up to 14%. And then even after the baby is born, you still maintain this blood volume increase of, I think, somewhere around 5 or 6%. So you've got this extra blood volume, which is, essentially legal blood doping.
Yeah.
And
that,
and then you factor in potentially, just higher pain threshold, all the other factors that come with just maybe giving birth. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But there's definitely something about the physiology of it. I think what was interesting about that study is I think it said 46% return to pre-birth levels, pre-pregnancy levels, all better. But that still means that more than half didn't. And I think if given the physiology shows that you do get better, it also shows how freaking hard it is for most women to be able to get back into training if you don't have a really supportive partner, who can pick up a lot of the slack. If you don't have that real desire as well, life's a lot harder. So yes, the study said it made it out like in the title, groundbreaking study that shows 46% get better. And I'm like, that's a little bit depressing because more than half didn't get better.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Well, yeah, it's basically you have a baby, and then if you sit back and relax and wait until you get better, no, it won't happen. You have to put the effort into it, and you really have to have the willpower because, like I said, there's so many opportunities or excuses you could make why I'm not swimming today, why I'm not going running because the baby is sick, or I was waking up the whole night. You could have so many excuses why not to do it. But if you're motivated and you love the sport and you have the sport, like you said, really, then you can do it. So yeah, you have to be like mentally strong and be supported. And I had like not just Brad supporting me, but also my main sponsor Liv stayed with me like both of the pregnancies. And they were like, no pressure, don't need to start racing basically whenever you want. And they actually used my pregnancy to promote basically the benefits of being a mom and how to get back into it, and then later how to inspire your kids to start sports and stuff like that. So yeah.